Crash is a 1996 psychological drama film written, produced and directed by David Cronenberg, based on J.G. Ballard's 1973 novel of the same name. Starring James Spader, Deborah Kara Unger, Elias Koteas, Hunter and Rosanna Arquette, it follows a film producer who, after surviving a car crash, becomes involved with a group of symphorophiliacs who are aroused by car crashes and tries to rekindle his sexual relationship with his wife. The film premiered at the Cannes Film Festival, where it received Special Jury Prize, a unique award that is distinct from the Jury Prize, as it is not given annually, but only at the request of an official jury. For example, the previous year, both a Jury Prize and a Special Jury Prize were awarded. When then jury president Francis Ford Coppola announced the award for originality, for daring and for audacity, he stated that it had been a controversial choice and that certain jury members did abstain very passionately. It continued to receive various accolades, including 6 Genie Awards from the Academy of Canadian Cinema and Television, including awards for Cronenberg as director and screenwriter. The film was also nominated in 2 further categories, including Best Picture. The film was controversial, as was the book, because of its vivid depictions of graphic sexual acts instigated by violence. At the Cannes Film Festival, a screening provoked boos and angry bolts by upset viewers. In a 2020 interview, Cronenberg stated that he believed Francis Ford Coppola, the jury president at the 1996 Cannes Film Festival, was so vehemently opposed to Crash that other jury members in favour of the film band together to present Cronenberg with a rare special jury prize. So great was Coppola's distaste for the film that, according to Cronenberg, Coppola refused to personally present the award to the director. The controversial subject matter prompted the Daily Mail and the Evening Standard to orchestrate an aggressive campaign to ban Crash in the United Kingdom. In response to this outcry, the British Board of Film Classification inquired with the Queen's Counsel and a psychologist, none of whom found any justification to ban it, and 11 disabled people who saw no offence with this portrayal of the physically challenged. Seeing no evidence for a ban, Crash was passed by the BBFC uncut with an 18 rating in March 1997. The theatre manager in Oslo, Norway, banned the film at her location. She denied it was related to a traffic accident that had left her husband paralysed. Media mogul Ted Turner, whose company oversaw US distributor Fine Line Features, refused to release the film in the United States, going so far to pull it from October 1996 release date. Cronenberg would later confirm that Fine Line executives shared that the rumour that Turner's distaste for the movie was the reason for its delay. He said Turner was morally offended and concerned about the copycat incidents that would arise from watching the film. The film eventually would receive a US release in spring of 1997. AMC Entertainment Incorporated, the second largest US theatre chain at the time, said it was posting security guards outside about 30 screen showings of the movie to ensure minors did not get inside to see the film. The film was even banned by the Westminster Council, meaning it could not be shown in any cinema in the West End, in London, even though it had earlier been given special permission for the film's premiere, and it was easily seen in nearby Camden. Of the adaptation, author J.G. Ballard reported, "The movie is actually better than the book. It goes further than the book and is much more powerful and dynamic. It's terrific." In describing the book, J.G. Ballard said, "Throughout Crash, I have used the car as not only a sexual image, but as a total metaphor for a man's life in today's society. As such, the novel has a political role quite apart from its sexual content, but I would like to still think that Crash is the first pornographic novel based on technology. In a sense, pornography is the most political form of fiction, dealing with how we use and exploit each other in the most urgent and ruthless way. Needless to say, the ultimate role of Crash is a cautionary, a warning against that brutal, erotic and overlit realm that beckons more and more persuasively to us from margins of the technological landscape." The cast includes James Spader as James Ballard, a film producer who has become detached from his wife Catherine, and they live in an open marriage. Holly Hunter as Dr. Helen Remington, the wife of a male passenger James kills when colliding with their car. Elias Koteas as Dr. Robert Vaughan, a sort of cult leader whose followers fetishize car crashes. Deborah Kara Unger as Catherine Ballard, James's wife, who keeps seeking extra thrills to be satisfied sexually. And Rosanna Arquette as Gabrielle, another one of the group members who follows Dr. Robert Vaughan, whose legs are clad in restrictive steel braces and who has a vulva-like scar on the back of one of her thighs. Now, this film has always been on my one-to-watch list, and has always been one of those films that I heard was controversial and shocking, and a film that, of course, I had to see. Now, I've always been a big David Cronenberg fan, from films like A History of Violence, to Eastern Promises, to even a film like The Fly. He has always been a bold director, and not scared to shy away from tackling subject matter that would make most directors wince. So the other night it occurs to me, I really want to watch Crash, and see what fundamentally it is all about. Now, as a movie, it is very well made. It's odd, it's slow, it's intense, and it's incredibly introspective. The characters are almost distant, almost as if they are in a trance the whole time, and Cronenberg directs this film with clinical precision. The film is about characters entranced by a sexual fetish, and the film challenges you throughout in its hyper-sexualized presentation, almost in a soft pornographic sense. It combines sexual desire with a macabre fascination for cars and violence. And it results in a film that is challenging, disturbing, bold, but entirely original. And I admire Cronenberg's visions here, as he doesn't step back from the subject matter, but rather jumps headfirst into the material. For me, this is a fascinating film, rather than an enjoyable viewing piece. Howard Shore's score here is haunting, and it works perfectly, as it lines up with the movie well. For me, though, you are taken on a journey, not watching sensual lovemaking, but you find yourself rather being a voyeur, watching disimpassioned people acting out their lust for violence through sex. Most of the scars in the movie on the actors aren't bloody or fresh, but rather old and bloodless, and almost as if they were psychological scars, playing on the character's very psyche and speaking to previous traumatic pasts as to why they crave such adrenaline rushes to fulfill their sexual peaks. As I said, it's a deeply erotic film that could be studied and will continue to surprise you further as you peel back the layers. But this is not one for the faint of heart, and the cast, though, are excellent in their glacial performances, and the sexual chemistry between all the cast is fiery and passionate, if not somewhat unnerving at times. I found Spader here, who has always been a somewhat offbeat actor, particularly engaging here as James Ballard, who of course is named after the author himself. I was surprised to see Holly Hunter in a film like this, but then apparently she'd been trying to act in a David Cronenberg film for years. Elias Koteas really pushes the boundaries here as Robert Vaughn. But for me, the standout in the cast has to be Deborah Kara Unger, who is the most challenging of the roles, and she really pushes her limits into your mind with a mesmerizing, if not haunting, portrayal here as Catherine. This is a fascinating, intriguing, disturbing, yet bold and original film, and it's a movie you won't surely forget in a hurry. Crash gets an 8.5 out of 10.